Doctrine of Angels. So you can turn to Genesis chapter 16. And that is the first mention of angel in the Bible. When the Lord spoke to Hagar. Hagar was Sarah's handmaid, of whom Sarah had her bear a child to Abraham. And that wasn't the right thing to do, but Sarah thought that she was too old to have a child, so she had Abram bear a child to Hagar. And after that child was born, Sarah despised Hagar, sent her and her child away. Well, had her bear a child, Abram, and then send her and the child away. That wasn't very nice. What's the first? Oh, the flaming sword. Okay, I forgot about that one. All right. Yeah, it's the second time. All right, so an angel was sent to Hagar to comfort her. Comfort by giving a message from the Lord. So in Genesis chapter 16 and verse 1, now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian. His name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarah said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee, I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarah, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand, do to her as it pleaseth thee. When Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarah. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. So Hagar knew that the Lord was speaking to her, because it was an angel. And the Lord's message to her was that everything would be all right, and from her son would come a nation of people. So, yeah, it was wrong that Sarah and Abram did that way. They had a lack of faith. And that's why there's Arabs today, descendants of Ishmael, that are at odds with Israel. And yet God still used Abraham to carry out his purpose. All right, the Hebrew word for angel, malak, means to dispatch as a deputy, a messenger. Angels are God's helpers. Not that he needs any help, but they help man. Angels help man. So, one way they help is by giving a message from the Lord. Another thing is giving comfort, aid. And for a person to see an angel, that gives them comfort. In Hebrews chapter 1, in the New Testament now, Hebrews, turn there, Hebrews chapter 1. Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 13. We there yet? Hebrews chapter 1. Verse 13. But to which of the angels said he, God, say at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool? Now, he said that to the Son, Jesus. They're talking about angels here. It says, to which of the angels? Verse 14. Are they not all ministering spirits, sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? So angels are ministering spirits. They were made to serve man. And as God directs, that is. The angels were made to praise God, also made to serve man. Now, we don't find any reference to angels in the creation story. God made the heavens and the earth. We can only assume that the angels were made when God made heaven, I would think, because, they're in heaven. And when angels appear to men, what do they look like? You see, you look up, pictures for angels. You see these winged creatures with robes, and usually they look like women, long flowing hair and angelic faces. It's beautiful. But when angels appear to men, well, they do come in various forms. In Genesis chapter 19, take a look there. Genesis chapter 19. They appear as men. So, well, they look like men. Genesis chapter 19. And this is about Sodom and Gomorrah. Chapter 19, verse 1. It says, and there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. So, kind of appear as men, but there was something special about them that Lot knew that they were different. And so I'm not sure what that is, but Lot told them, he said, verse 2, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and you shall rise up early. So, they had feet. You shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. Well, that wasn't a safe thing for them to do because of the wicked men of Sodom. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they laid down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And when they said know them, they meant sexually. They were sodomites. They were homosexual. And so they knew they looked like men to them. Where are the men? And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do you to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So Lot, he's not a very good father. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. Verse 10, But the men, that is the angels, put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. In verse 11, And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness. So, bling! Can't see. The angels had the power to blind those men, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So that is a little bit about angels there. Now let's turn to Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2. And verse 8. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. Many times in the Bible, when angels appear to men, the men are afraid. So, I think that angels can appear in different forms. Appear just as a man, or appear as a bright, shining person that, and if they're hovering in the air, then and that would cause fear upon man. And the verse 10, and the angel said unto them, Fear not, fear not. So you hear that a lot too, when angels speak to men and women. They tell them, don't be afraid. And they have a message. And the message for them was, Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. So what they look like, power that they have, Angels have more power than man does. How much power? Well, let's look in Exodus chapter 33. I guess it depends on what your rank as an angel is, how much power you have. Exodus chapter 33 and verse 2. And God told the Israelites, he said, I will send an angel before thee, and I'll drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. So when they went into the promised land, and God told them, I will send an angel before thee to drive them out. So, power of angels, yeah, they're powerful. They can do a lot. They can topple entire armies in a fell swoop. So, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. In Daniel chapter 10, Daniel chapter 10 tells about, Daniel was praying, fasting and praying for some information from the Bible, interpretation of the Bible. God sent an angel to him, but the angel was hindered by another angel, a fallen angel. And the kingdoms of the world are actually controlled by fallen angels. In chapter 10, verse 20 of Daniel, then said he, knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? Now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. When I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. So the Greeks took over from the Persians, and this angel fought against the prince of Persia, overthrew the Persians, and when he did, then the prince of Grecia came. So these fallen angels, God's angels have power, fallen angels have power. And it says about how Michael the archangel fought against this one angel. The prince of Grecia took the place of Persia. The power of angels, yeah, they're powerful. All right, what else about angels? They are protectors. Matthew chapter 18. You've heard of a guardian angel. Guardian angels watching you, watching over you. I'm sure that I've been watched over. Think about different times when I could have been killed, could have died. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 10, Jesus said about children, he said, take heed that you despise not one of these little ones. Talking about children. For I say unto you that in heaven, their angels, T-H-E-I-R, that's possessive, the angels that belong to these children. Not that you can possess an angel, but the ones that are assigned to them. Their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. So that the angels, they are always watching the Father waiting for instruction. So I'm sure there's been times when the Father has told an angel, go down there and help Greg Leonard. He's going to do something stupid. Try to get himself killed. There were times when I was working on electric, and I'm sure there's lots of other times too. So our angels watch over us. There are angels watching over us and helping us. And among us, Hebrews. Next place, Hebrews chapter 13. Hebrews chapter 13. Starting in verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Verse 2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers. So, being nice to people. Entertain. How do you do that? You entertain people that you like, right? Friends. Relatives come by, well, you got to entertain them. Or, most people do. Some people, they might not entertain their relatives. But here it says about entertaining strangers. People you don't know. Giving them refreshment. Entertaining them. Talking to them, welcome them in your home. Take time to be around them. Don't just blow them off. I ain't got time for you, buddy. Be not forgetful. Don't forget. Remember to do this. Remember to entertain strangers. For thereby some have entertained angels unawares. So we have examples of this in the Bible. Ones that, you have Samson's mother and father that entertained an angel. So if they appear as men, you don't always know might not know that it's an angel. And I think there have been times when I don't know if it's an angel or not, but it feels like it. It feels like God sent somebody to help us. And, and then some people, they just show up and they help and then they disappear. And I don't know. Maybe they are angels. I don't know. I remember when we first started church in Greensburg. We're at the YMCA. And the first couple weeks, we didn't have too many there, just a few people. And this one guy came. And his name was Al. Now, anyone named Al, that they have to be an angel, right? Because their name is Al. That's short for angel. Okay, that's supposed to be a joke. I'm not serious. But, I have to wonder, maybe he was an angel to encourage us. Because he was there. And, for a few weeks, then he was gone. And couldn't find him. So, I don't know, but it does say that some have entertained angels unawares, and that they do help us. All right, so now I have to bring this up because A lot of people have this misconception. Men do not become angels after they die. So Hollywood, they have, yep, he's an angel now. He's getting his wings. And no, nowhere in the Bible do men become angels. Man was made in the image of God. And so what is different? I'm not sure exactly. We can say, well, man has a body. Well, the angels that appear, in the Bible, they have bodies. The angels, they grabbed a hold of Lot. They used their hands. Lot told the angels they could wash their feet. So I don't think that is the difference. Can't say that they don't have intellect. Of course they have intellect. Satan, he is a fallen angel. He's very smart. Can't be that. Do they have a will? Well, yeah, it seems they do, Satan fell from heaven. He chose, to rebel against God and drew a third of the angels with him. That was their choice. So they do have a will. Emotion, I would think so, how could do anything without having some kind of emotion? Yeah, Satan had pride. I don't know if that's emotion exactly, but emotion, I think so. I think they have emotion. So, body like we have. No, they don't have a body like we do. And the other thing I thought, creativity. I'm not sure that they have creativity. It's God. We're made in the image of God. God created, and man is creative. So, and they do not procreate. So you have ones that go off a bunny trail there and think that fallen angels had relations with women and had children to them. Okay, well, then those children would be hybrids. And where are they? So I guess that's the lizard people. No, I don't think so. I don't go along with that theory. All right, so angels, fallen angels. And we did about Doctrine of Satan a couple weeks ago. Yes, I think that Satan appeared to Eve as a serpent. So he took on the form of a serpent in the Garden of Eden. And Revelation refers to him as a dragon, the devil, Satan. So it spells it out for us. But then in another place it says that he's an angel of light. So I think that they can change form. And so, yes, I do think that the devil himself, he became a lizard. For, I don't know if you call it a lizard. It says serpent, whatever category that would be. All right, so last thing to look at is Jude, verse 6. There's only one chapter in Jude. It talks about the fallen angels. We started out with angels, end up a little bit on fallen angels. Had a lesson about that a couple weeks ago. So, just say that there is no redemption for the fallen angels. So there's a difference between angels and men. The fallen angels, they chose to follow Satan, and there's no redemption for them. The angels that stayed with God, well, they will be in heaven forever and ever, and will serve man. Jude, verse 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. So, fallen angels, no redemption for them. They're going to hell. They're going to be in torment forever and ever in fire. When Jesus cast the devils out of the swine, the devils said to him, they said, "In Jesus we adjure thee that thou tormentest not before the time." So Jesus could have sent them to hell right then, ordered them to go to hell, but he said, we cast the devils out of a man, and then he had them go into the swine. So he told them, go ahead and go into the swine. And how many were there? 1,000, I think, pigs, whatever there was, a lot of them. And when that happened, they went hog wild, and they ran over a cliff. Pigs went crazy with the devils in them. That was the first deviled ham. And they ran over a cliff and fell into the sea. So that's your fallen angels there. All right, so Doctrine of Angels, teaching about angels. Don't worship angels. Don't have the verse for that, but it says there's places where men do fall down before an angel, and the angel tells them, "Get up, don't worship me." And another place, it says about those that worship angels. So you're not supposed to do that. Worship God. Angels are powerful, but they're not God. They're God's servants.